Hello, friends of the Real Supernatural Cases channel. If you like mystery and suspense, you're in the right place. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos. Today, I bring you a chilling story. Stay until the end of the video to discover the surprising outcome of this story. I'm Marcelo, 38 years old, and I work as a mortuary assistant in one of the largest morgues in the United States, located in a city that I prefer not to mention. My job has its ups and downs, and I witness things that often leave me speechless. On a dark and foggy night, while a medical examiner and I were working on a shift, we heard a sound that sent shivers down our spines. It was something like banging or dragging, and the sound became louder and more frightening. Driven by curiosity and courage, we decided to investigate where this terrifying noise was coming from. We discovered that the noise was coming from a deactivated room that stored bodies that had not yet been claimed by families. The atmosphere inside was heavy and gloomy, as if something evil lurked in the shadows. As we entered the room, the lights suddenly went out, and we found an open drawer. Our hearts were pounding, and a deep chill filled the room. Inside the drawer, there was a body that had already been autopsied and showed signs of cruelty and violence. I pushed the drawer back and locked it, but then we heard a terrible sound, a sharp and agonizing moan, as if it came from the depths of hell. Terrified, we left the room and abandoned the building, swearing never to return there. The next day, I researched the history of that body and discovered that it belonged to a man who had been lynched after abusing a 6-year-old girl and stabbing the child's mother to death. No family came to claim the body, and he was buried as an indigent. Even today, I try to find a logical explanation for what happened that night, but deep down, I know that I can't explain the unexplainable. I hope that man suffers for eternity and his spirit never finds peace. But that's not the only story I have to share. Once, on another shift, a colleague and I heard a muffled whisper coming from one of the morgue drawers. We looked at each other, confused and scared, not knowing what it could be. Carefully, we approached and, as we opened the drawer, we found the body of a woman who had been declared dead just a few hours before. However, to our surprise and shock, the woman opened her eyes and began speaking in an unknown language. Her gaze was empty and her voice carried a haunting tone. It was clear that something was very wrong. Maybe she wasn't really dead, or perhaps something supernatural was connected to her. We quickly called for help, and the woman was rushed to a hospital, where they discovered that she had been a victim of a rare case of catalepsy. Although this situation was explained by science, the truth is that since then, my colleague and I have become more cautious during our shifts, always wondering if something beyond human understanding could be lurking in the shadows. In another incident, on a full moon night, a group of colleagues and I were working in the morgue when suddenly we realized that some surgical instruments started moving on their own, as if invisible forces were manipulating them. We were all paralyzed with fear, watching that inexplicable phenomenon. The lights began to flicker, and the sounds of sinister laughter echoed through the room, increasing our unease and terror. We decided to get out of there as quickly as possible, but before we could take a step, one of the morgue doors slammed violently, and a cold, icy wind invaded the room. At that moment, we were certain that we were not alone and that something evil was trying to torment us. We never found a plausible explanation for that horrifying night, but that event marked our lives forever. From then on, we all began to question what really happens when life leaves a body and what can inhabit the threshold between life and death. As much as I try to forget these stories and focus on my work, I can't help but think that there may be something beyond what our eyes can see and our minds can comprehend. And it is this mystery that leads me to share these experiences with you, hoping to find other people who have also had supernatural and inexplicable encounters. So, friends of the Real Supernatural Cases channel, I hope you enjoyed these stories and that they have piqued your curiosity and imagination. If you have any chilling stories to share, leave them in the comments, and who knows, your experience may be the subject of a future video. Don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends and family. After all, you never know where the supernatural may be hidden. Until next time.